I'm Mark Seifter.
And I'm Linda Zaz Palmer.
And this is Arcane Mark. Hello, everyone.
Hi, welcome to Arcane Mark. Today we're going to be building a ritual together with our viewers on Twitch. So as we always start off for our workshops, we will need some concepts. A few of our folks in chat have already suggested some ideas. If you are here in Twitch chat, please continue to suggest ideas and we will do a poll and vote for the option.
So it was a ritual to summon Mark Seifter to create a new... to create something for your character is the first idea, and then the second idea is...
a ritual for extended telepathic communication.
That's right. So, it's for extended telepathic communication, which Rico referred to as pandemic Zoom meetings, the ritual.
Indeed.
So, does anyone else who's watching have an idea for
we have one. A ritual
yes.
where you're a super powerful dragon and you become a level 1 adventurer, trading all your dragon powers for faster leveling.
Lux Aeterna ritual. So if we do that, then the Lux Aeterna ritual is a plot device, so we can be done really quickly. So we can just say, we shouldn't put a level or a cost to this because it's done during your backstory. Mm-hmm. That'll be the fastest in and out of a stream that we've ever done. I'll put it on the options list.
There is a furry ritual called Arcane Mark.
Yeah, it makes sense because I mean there is a spell called Arcane Mark.
A ritual to locate Eldamon.
Ritual to locate Eldamon.
I figure if Lux
Arcane Mark ritual.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, we had an idea.
Did you touch on last week's episode, the ritual episode, where we were talking about...
what was it?
We were basically just talking about rituals in general and best practices for GM.
Coronation is a ritual. Oh, that's cool.
Coronation of Monarch.
And ritual to infuse draconic energy into the casters.
Ritual to infuse draconic energy into casters. All right, there we go. Vote for your favorite two. Mm-hmm. Vote for your favorite two of these 6 rituals.
Indeed.
Top 2.
For the choices are many. Good evening to you, Tella.
And so we have, our choices are ritual to summon Mark Seifter to create something for your character, extended telepathic communication, Lux Aeterna ritual, ritual to locate Eldamon, Arcane Mark ritual, coronation of Monarch, and ritual to infuse draconic energy into casters.
So far, we have a vote for ritual to summon Mark Seifter and Arcane Mark ritual.
So yeah, we've got
So A, E, B, G, B, F.
But not forever. E,
F.
We've got F. We've got E.
So B, E, and F.
B, E, and F are all doing well so far. Those are the ones that are doing the best.
So that is...
Oh, there's another one for B.
All right, so B's got the lead now.
For the extended telepathic communication is doing well. Okay. So, what if B, E, and F were all the same ritual?
Yes.
Where you coronate a monarch by actually... It's not just a crown, but it actually... like infuses the symbol of the nation on them from the nation's regalia,
and then allows them to telepathically
communicate with some of like the ministers or other people who are like important in the country. So like it could be something like that. And Rohit was typing at the exact same time Monarch can communicate with ministers.
Yeah, the Royal Seal is a big deal.
Yes, the Royal Seal is serious business.
Yeah, so then in that case, it could be, you know, is it just allowing communication, or is it one of those things where it's like, you get to do these extra things, but the Monarch can also spy on you, or see you, or talk to you at any time?
That's right. It probably gives certain benefits as well as certain potential drawbacks. So let's think about this. We know that it's going to be a coronation ritual that involves putting the royal seal on certain things.
Rika says, "Wait, what if the ritual is forever? Then what? Rika's vote then was for BFF.
There you go.
Instead of just BFF.
Well, it's possible that it could be like removed by
it could probably
by
like,
at the very least a
could
detonate
be...
magic / disjunction that can destroy magic items. So let's think about this. So you can put you coronate this one person, and then put the royal seal on possibly creatures or objects, allowing the monarch to see through the senses of those other people and communicate with them telepathically.
I just saw something in chat from Rohit. Suggested not making it a literal monarch, because that might not be in every game, but is it like a leader?
Yes. Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be for like the ruler of a kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
It may be that it's based upon the idea of the divine right of monarchy, but that if you figure out this ritual and create your own royal seal, you could do it for any organization, actually, as long as it has a ritualistic, like, leadership role that carries enough meaning to it spiritually. Because I'm thinking it's probably a divine occult. Type of spiritual, metaphysical situation.
So, and they're talking about, like, the coronation that could be, like, also expanded to the general idea of ascending to power or becoming the leader or becoming recognized by the broader group.
Yes.
And the metaphysical significance of that.
It's also possible that is a situation where you need to basically the primary caster becomes the monarch, so to speak, and the secondary casters become the ministers.
Yeah. So
if they're not with you and they're not actually supporting you and they screw up your casting, then it's not going to work.
Yeah. So you have to know that they're loyal.
Yes.
For sure, before you
have to trust your potential ministers very much.
Or they might trigger a critical failure in your ritual.
Yep.
All right.
So, in that case, let's think about what level this is going to be. So, it's essentially going to give us the ability to have telepathic communication and seeing through the senses of various people. And it's going to be either permanent or just so ridiculously long that it basically is permanent. So if we look at some existing rituals, I think there may be an existing ritual.
Is there an existing ritual that taps into
that
telepathy?
Does something similar to this? And so we're going to use that to figure out what rank this should be. So if we look at existing rituals that are here, then we can see that there's concealment curtain that makes it so other things can't see you. There's contact friends where you meditate and seek all of your friends to like ask them questions, but that always asks the correct questions. So it's not really exactly like that. And then at higher ranks than the ones that I was currently looking at, I think there are a few options that may allow you to I felt like there was something. It may have been a first edition ritual though, the one I'm thinking of that lets you see through other creatures' senses. Yeah, that may be the case. So in that case there isn't an example of a ritual that does exactly what we want.
Is there an example of a spell that does that sort of thing in the shorter term?
So, was Telepathic Bond is a spell that is from the core rulebook, but nothing should really have changed that much in the remaster. It's 5th level, or 5th rank in the remaster, 1 minute long, 8 hours, you and up to 4 willing creatures. So, if you just do it every day, then for a significant portion of those days, you would be able to communicate with people. So therefore, if we take a look at building items, then you would get much of the effect of this hypothetical ritual by buying a wand of telepathic bond, which would
Yes.
be an 11th level item and cost 1,400 gold pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So with that in mind, we now know a little bit about the boundaries of like where we're going to be putting certain options here. So if this was a creature creation ritual, which, you know, it doesn't have to be, then a creature creation ritual that was somewhere in the rank 4 range, I think. Let me see. Or no, that it's creature level 7 to 8. And what rank does the ritual have to be?
Creature level 7 to 8 would be 5
rank
to 6.
5 to
Yeah,
6.
rank 5
Yes.
to 6.
Okay. So it's somewhere in the rank 5 to 6 range if it was a creature creation ritual. But we can, of course, also pick a different amount of cost. Plus, the wand doesn't last for all day, but it does let you switch who the people are with.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, then the ritual also could fail, whereas the wand is not gonna fail.
Yeah. I could also see, with regards to, because some folks in chat are saying, like, you know, would it be possible to make it 4th?
I think we could.
Yeah.
It can just be a little more expensive than usual for 4th, since there's a spell that literally does it at 5th rank.
Yeah.
So I think it could easily
especially
be 4th
because you
rank.
have to pick those people, and you have to have, like, trusted them and gotten together
And
with
it
them.
takes
to
a
do
really
this whole
long
thing.
time. Now, it does last forever, but it takes a really long time, and you can't just juke on the fly every day and set it on a different group of 4 people like you could with the wand.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we can definitely do that. And we don't actually have to charge the exact same amount for a creature either. We can just make it 4th rank and charge like maybe 750 gold, which is slightly over half. That way also it spots you almost a failure to equal the price of the wand. You get the telepathy and sensory viewing, which telepathy bond doesn't give you, and it's all day, but it's the one central person is the one who's communicating with everyone. It's not a full network, and you can't keep changing it to different creatures all the time.
Yeah, what was there's something that was like project senses.
Yes, there's
or share senses.
There's a lot of abilities that let you share senses with different creatures or
because I'm thinking about
familiars.
like
that the one you're looking at is for Eidolons.
It's for Eidolons, yeah.
But if you want the one that like is like animal senses,
like where you project senses into
where
you
like project into like a random animal's sense, then that would be the animal vision spell, which is 3rd rank.
Yeah.
So altogether, I think 4th rank can work for us here. So in that case, we've created a 4th rank ritual. So this is called like coronation, and it is ritual 4.
Mm-hmm.
And so the primary is occultism or religion.
Mm-hmm.
And then the secondaries probably are like society, genealogy lore.
Well, the lore I think could also depend upon the like what organization
or heraldry lore.
Yeah.
And then swap for certain orgs.
Yeah.
And then let's see, what else would you have? You probably have performance because you want to like, it's very performative when you're doing coronation. You have to do all of the right steps correctly. Society is very clear on here.
And this also gives you a chance to put a charisma based skill in here, which really feels like it should be in there for that. But you wouldn't want it to be but if it was like diplomacy or intimidation or something that would feel more like this is what the primary caster does because they're exerting their presence as a leader. Whereas like the primary one is typically actually like a spell type thing because you're making a spell. So that makes perfect sense.
Yes. And Rex points out in the Farseer books by Robin Hobb, it is kind of like making your own skill coterie. I did read some of the original Assassin's Apprentice ones of that. So yeah, I think that fits. So we want to have, and yeah, Rohit, I think it's going to be occultism or religion for the primary because of the divine rights for religion, and occultism for like the connections between people and society. So it's got the spiritual aspect no matter what.
Yeah, and that way, it may be the case that if you're using this in your campaign, that the way it's being used really leans toward one or the other.
Yes, I think that's true. So let me see. What other skills do we not have that we might want to throw in here?
I'm not really seeing any strength or dexterity-based skills necessarily.
Maybe like diplomacy?
Yeah, you wouldn't want intimidation, but I could see diplomacy in there.
Yeah, because these are for the secondary.
Yeah.
So maybe it's society, genealogy, lore, or heraldry, lore, performance, or diplomacy. 4 plus, or so 4 to 8 secondary casters, and then 4 of them don't have to do anything.
Yeah. And then someone was talking about maybe having like our Arcana or like nature being an option for secondary if it was like being used as that kind of thing. I feel like maybe you might be able to do something similar, but like swap out some of the other skills as a whole. If you were like, I'm gonna make a version that's for like becoming the leader of the druid circle,
then maybe nature is the primary and survival instead of society is the secondary.
Performance and things like that. Yeah.
Yes.
So I think that maybe for that you could have
I think the druid
same
version
mechanics, but you would change the primary and secondary. And then the rest would all work.
I think the druid version would be nature, primary, and secondary survival instead of society. And probably the lore would not be genealogy and heraldry lore.
Yeah, it might be like herbalism or something like that.
Absolutely. So, then the cost we said was probably going to be like 750 GP. We could just make it even 700, so it's exactly half of the wand.
Exactly half.
You can screw up exactly one time, and it'll be fine. So let's see, what other things are, like, in these? We need the casting time.
Yeah.
So, it's probably at least the length of a coronation ceremony. So, let's see. I feel like, that coronations take a while.
They do.
Because there's all of these things. Like, the actual thing where they're like, here, we're putting the crown on you is only, like, a few hours long. But I feel like there's like a few days of
like events
and stuff. Yeah. It looks like it can take several months in some places to do all of the different places you have to go to. But let's just say it's 3 days that are centered around the actual coronation. But some of it is like feasts and balls and parties, which is part of why the performance is there.
Yes.
So, the cast is 3 days, part of which includes those parties. It includes all of the actual coronation. Secondary casters, 4 to 8.
Yes.
And then we've got the primary and secondary checks.
We
the
need
range is going to be range is just like primary and secondary casters. Or it doesn't need range. It's just the targets are primary and secondary casters. And they have to be there casting. But other than that, like, you could have gone to like the other side of the castle during the time. And if it's a very large castle.
And I guess the duration would be until the death of the monarch.
Or so the duration is
because the ritual would fall apart if the monarch or other leader died.
The duration is what is the permanent is not called permanent usually in PF2, and I'm now blanking on what it is usually called when it's permanent. It's like is it indefinite duration or is it let's see. I'm sure it's listed in here somewhere when the spell just ends, or the spell just doesn't normally end. Then we'll say like in parentheses, see text, and then say if you die, then it's going to be over. So maybe someone in the chat has already remembered what the
abdicate. That's a good point.
Is. Unlimited.
Oh, that's what it is. Unlimited,
that's correct.
Unlimited C text, and then like
unlimited C text.
And then if the leader.
If the leader dies, abdicates,
or otherwise is removed from their position,
or is voted out by 3/4 or more of the secondary casters, the ritual effect ends.
Oh, that has a lot of potential for intrigue.
Yes. It's like it has to be 3/4.
Mm-hmm. And you had to organize that while the monarch could
see you.
Could see you, yeah.
And telepathically communicate. And the monarch is the only one who can telepathically communicate between people.
Yeah, could you respond to the monarch?
Yes.
Yeah, I would think so.
So, this ritual recognizes the primary caster as a monarch / leader of the group. The primary caster can telepathically communicate with each secondary caster, and they can telepathically communicate with the primary caster. Additionally, the primary caster
can project their senses
can
this is going to be when the primary caster does this. A lot of these
project their senses to use the senses of a secondary caster.
This would probably have the usual, like, while you're doing that, you're not seeing through your own senses at the same time.
Yes, while this effect lasts, the primary caster can't use their own senses. If the ritual has fewer than 8 secondary casters, the primary caster can also choose a number of objects equal to number of objects to add up to 8 total
targets that are not the extra targets.
Yes, to add up to 8 total targets other than themselves, and can project their senses to the objects. All such objects and secondary casters bear the royal seal chosen during the ritual, and usually matching some regalia worn by the primary caster. So I think that's what we said it was going to do.
Yeah, so we need to figure out what are the... So
we need
know what it does?
Critical success, success, failure, and critical failure. So failure is the coronation fails. Critical failure is the powers that be curse the ill-fated coronation. Not only does the coronation fail, but the organization falls upon calamity, and all casters roll saving throws and skill checks twice and take the lower result for 1 month.
Oh, jeez. Yep.
It's just bad luck. This is a misfortune effect.
Indeed.
We'll just do 1 month of it's not your attack rolls, it's just your saving throws and skill checks.
But all very important if you're
Those
trying
are still
to run
pretty
an organization
important
and survive,
in your organization.
Absolutely. So then, when it comes to success versus critical success,
we can say the success is the coronation succeeds, and then critical success could be like the coronation succeeds, and the powers that be bless the what's the opposite of ill-fated? Like the
fortunate.
No, it's got to be something else that is
talking
talking about how it's so well fated. Auspicious.
That's
like
the word
that.
You're looking
Bless
for,
the
isn't it?
auspicious coronation.
Oh, someone said something in chat.
Yes.
Too.
In chat, they said that it could be the entire domain. So yeah, it could be.
And there was also a suggestion that the success could be like the communication is within the city,
and it winks out if you go past a certain boundary.
And then critical success is like that the communication and watching and everything goes much farther.
That's an interesting possibility as well.
Yeah, because that also could help with the fact that it is like somewhat lower level, and it's like so there's a way like. People could leave the city to try to scheme, but like the ruler will know, or the leader will know that you've gone outside of range. But like if you were assigned to do something outside,
we'll say within 100 miles of the primary caster.
Yeah.
Which does mean that if your country is too big, it's more than a 100-mile radius, that this spell is not sufficient, and we can say heighten.
Oh yeah, heighten to increase the range, yeah.
Heighten +1 for each level. For each rank, the ritual is heightened. The ritual doubles in cost, and the area is 10 times more on a success. So 5th rank would be 1,000 miles, and 1,400. 6th rank would be 10,000 miles, and 2,800, and so on. But the critical success is that the coordination is going to succeed, and it's auspicious. So the let's see. The telepathy and senses.
Could this be something that benefits the secondary casters?
So I think it could. The telepathy and senses project within, let's say, 1,000 miles, so it's 10 times farther.
Yeah.
And furthermore, all casters gain a +1 status bonus to all saving throws and skill checks for 1 month. So they have a slightly better time, and it goes 10 times farther.
Pretty long. And then if you heightened it also, and then you did that, it goes super long.
Yes, and Rex puts out this a lore reason that countries, if they don't have strong enough magic, are often might be a particular size. That's true. So in this world, you might have countries that lots of smaller nations, because it's easier to control them without the rituals get more and more expensive. Although to be fair, covering a 10 times as much radius, which is 100 times as much area, while only doubling in cost, is pretty efficient.
But you also have to make sure that your leader is high enough level to be able to pull off the skill checks that are required for a ritual.
And if it's like some kind of hereditary thing, they have to keep being high enough level to do it. And so that's a big question.
Yeah, the pressure of like being high enough level to pull this ritual off, and also like, you know, if someone goes out of the range, or you like, ooh, are they trying to scheme something? Or the other ways that people might try to get around this with like divination blocking or divination masking magic.
Yes. Plus, also, you still only get 4 to 8 people, even if you're a really big nation and you cast it the higher ranks.
Yeah, and then what happens later on if like one of those people was loyal and doing things with the leader, but then later on they decided to change what they were doing. Like, the leader can't exactly just replace them or kick them out. But they can continue to watch them.
That's right. And there's a suggestion also that not only are you cursed, but the primary caster is bedeviled by phantom voices out of nowhere, belittling their failures.
Yes. Just in the same way that the success is like, yes, definitely meant to rule, and then it's
and
like,
the success lets you talk telepathically with people.
Yeah,
whereas this critical failure, you just hear everyone's thoughts about them being like, this person failed.
Yeah, like
they're so bad.
Like, hear the criticism that people are thinking of you within a large mile radius.
There we go.
Indeed.
So, we have done it. We have built a ritual to combine 3 different ritual ideas into one ritual. Let's put it into the Arcane Mark Discord, which is tiny.cc/arcanemark. I just linked it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. So that will be in the
workshop chat.
Workshop
It's higher
chat.
than that on your
It's
scroll
higher
bar.
than that on
Yep,
the
it's
scroll
there.
bar.
It's just
there
above
it
Puzzle
is.
Games.
It's gray because we always go there when we're posting it.
Indeed.
Our message is too long. Then
must be broken.
we can break it into the
2
successes because it was barely too long.
Yeah.
And the not degrees of success.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
There
So
we go.
we've now put it into the Discord, tiny.cc/arcanemark. You can go there and check it out. And yeah, that's I think that's a wrap. So let's say goodbye to YouTube. Bye,
Indeed.
YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.